Will it pick up? I don't know. Let's see if the stream still hooks up.
I wanted to. Oh, I didn't know if you were gonna stream again. Should I just go back in the other? Should I just go back in the other voice chat?
You can stay if you
I don't know.
want.
We're gonna finish talking about Joker and the ending of the movie.
Yeah, let me see if it continued or not. I had to jump off real fast. I had to deal with a thing, but
no, I understand.
It doesn't matter. You can.
Yeah, okay. It actually looks like it just picked up where I started.
Sweet.
I think I don't know. Fuck it. Who cares? What was I saying?
No, yeah, it did. Cool.
Okay.
Nice.
We're back. All right.
So I was saying he says it's a fucking joke, and the woman next to him is like, "That's not funny. You can't joke about that." And the whole point of the movie is that everyone is so needlessly cruel to each other, under the guise of like fun times, where Murray pulls up
like the drunk dudes in the subway.
Yeah, like Murray pulls up that video of Arthur, who's clearly like a new comedian, who's unproven, who's shy and awkward, and he makes fun of him in front of millions of people just to like pad out time on his stupid fucking TV show. And they're going to do these things endlessly, but they're not allowed to, like, they've arbitrarily decided you can't joke about this thing that you find funny because I don't find it funny. Even though I've spent like the last however long destroying you for my good time, directly or indirectly, you can't do this because I find it uncomfortable.
Right.
And I was so fucking blisteringly angry at that moment.
I can imagine. Yeah, it was that whole movie is frustrating. Even though Arthur does some really fucked up stuff, you're just like, the whole movie you can't help but feel like, yeah, I get it.
There's a
Everyone's an asshole.
There's a deeper sort of thing going on there, which I've talked about a little bit, but it's the great man theory.
What's that?
So for those of you who don't know, the great man theory, and I don't know this approximately, I just heard about this not that long ago. The great man theory is the belief that history is written by great men. 1 in a million. There's one, like, truly great men, and they decide the course of history, and they write history. And the rest of us are small folk. We are just sort of along for the ride.
So one great man would be like Joseph Smith or someone.
That's the first place you go, huh? Joseph Smith?
Yeah.
There's the other theory, which I think Marx came up with, which was the people's man theory, which was the belief that great men were not born from nothing; they were products of their environment.
He was a rock farmer. He was a rock farmer. That's pretty good.
So, like, take Kurt Cobain.
Yeah.
Right.
Did Kurt Cobain create the disaffected youth of the 90s, or did Kurt Cobain ride the wave of that already existing subculture?
Neither. He represented them.
Yeah, like the real answer is somewhere in the middle.
He didn't ride it, and he didn't create it. He was a representation of how people felt at that time.
Yeah, if Nirvana didn't exist, another band would have taken their place. Those people would have still existed without Nirvana.
Yeah.
And that's what I really like about the Joker movie. It's most superhero movies follow the great man theory, which is that 1 in a million people becomes either a hero or a villain, and they decide the course of history. But in the Joker, it's kind of both, where Joker is a product of the hellhole that is Gotham, and he becomes a symbol to the people who are disaffected by it. But he's not participating in it. He doesn't care. He doesn't care that he's starting a race war. He
really doesn't give a shit.
He doesn't care that the people he murdered were shitty. It helps for sure, but ultimately, like, he makes it clear he didn't feel anything, and he was kind of taken aback at how little he felt killing those people. amongst other things.
So wait, how did he get the scars?
He didn't get scars.
He
Have them.
doesn't. Yeah.
Well, there's the whole thing with his stepfather that I think is kind of pointless. I don't think it adds anything to the movie.
I think what it adds is that like that's kind of like where a lot of his problems started with his mental health.
But I don't really like. I didn't need an origin point of his mental illness. It was enough for me that he was born with it. Like, yeah, it was like it didn't ruin the movie. I just felt like it didn't bring anything to it. You know, like the notion that his mom might have been making up all the Thomas Wayne stuff, or Thomas Wayne might have pulled some strings and had her committed. All that's fine.
Doesn't matter.
But
in the grand like scheme of things, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter where his.
It's kind of like when you look at Henry Lee Lucas. Like, why did Henry Lee Lucas kill all those people? What made him like this? And you're just like, oh, well, he had an abusive childhood. Here's what his parents did to him. What's really interesting is why and how he killed those people.
Yeah, I think on some level, like, having an origin, like, oh, your parents fucked you up, makes a character less interesting. I think it's more fascinating if, I don't know, Joker, like, the ambiguity of, was Joker born kind of broken, or living in this fucked up city, did it take something away from him? Did it take away his ability to empathize entirely?
In that sense, I guess you like the original Michael Myers better than the Rob Zombie one.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, I think Michael Myers is fascinating as like a human conduit of something far worse.
Yeah, he was just born evil, as opposed to where like in the new one where he just
I think
got abused to the point.
I think in Halloween they should go full supernatural. I think someone should like bring a hammer across Michael Myers' face, and his face cracks like it's porcelain or something. And like underneath it is nothing. He's literally like an inhuman husk.
It'd be interesting.
Yeah, I Joker's a fantastic movie.
So the ending.
Yeah. So he kills Murray. He gets carted away. But before that happens, there's a car accident, and he gets to participate in the great riots happening across Gotham.
If Joker had a stand, it would be called L.A. riots.
And then the last scene is him in a psych ward talking to a. It's worth noting. Fuck!
Yeah,
I can't believe I almost forgot about this. During the clown riots, Joe Chill guns down.
Yeah, that was an interesting thing. Joe Chill is one of the guys who's inspired by Joker. He has a clown mask and everything.
Yeah, Joe Chill guns down Thomas and Martha Wayne in front of Bruce Wayne, and thus begins the story of Batman.
Right after being the ambulance driver who broke out Joker.
And then, like, there's the sort of thing that ultimately Joker got his revenge, because now both he and his supposed brother are familyless and alone.
Yeah.
So DCP says, "Heyo, what's new?"
Nothing.
Was the therapist Harley Quinn?
No, there is no Harley Quinn.
Yeah, no.
I think that would.
No Harley Quinn.
I feel like that would kind of take away from it.
Was that the same social worker from the beginning of the movie? She just had different hair.
I think it was the same actress. I think the idea is meant to plant the seed that maybe it was all a delusion. But I don't. I have a pretty out there.
Before he walked out of the hospital with the bloody shoes, I was thinking that the whole movie was his joke, and he was saying to her like, "I got a really funny joke, but you wouldn't get it."
Yeah, I think that's one of the ways they do it. But because we know that Batman is a real quantity usually, we just sort of accept it as what it is. Yeah, there's a lot you can sort of take from that. I have a pretty out there interpretation.
I want to hear it.
So this one sort of takes the notion that this is canon to the current DC stuff with Suicide Squad and Justice League in there.
Right.
which is, and I've seen this was a theory that people had before the movie came out, which is that this is not Jared Leto's Joker. Jared Leto's Joker was inspired by this Joker, like directly. Here's my great theory. I think Arthur Fleck is Joker's stepfather. And this is his crazy-ass delusion of trying to make sense of what he did to his stepson, who was Jared Leto Joker. Jared Leto.
What he did to his stepson?
I think from, like, abusing his stepson, he created the Joker that Batman fights and shit like that. In the Suicide Squad Joker. And this is him sort of making sense in his mind about understanding how, like, he fucked up this kid and he has dealt innumerable damage to the world as a result. And I think that's why there's such, like, weird specific things throughout it. And I haven't said...
Do we know he was abused by his parents in Suicide Squad?
No, we don't. We don't know anything about that Joker, other than we know that, like, in that universe, Jason Todd exists, and that whole thing happened with him.
Oh, he killed Jason Todd.
Yeah, and there's a common theory that Jared Leto, I can't say his fucking name.
Jared
Leto, Joker is Jason Todd after he turned into the Joker, because of some fucked up shit. So the theory that I have is, and this ties into the backstory of Jason Todd, which is Jason Todd's backstory is Jason Todd had, like, shitty criminals as parents, and he's usually committing some sort of crime when Batman finds him and takes him under his wing. In the original comics, in the original comics, he is actually trying to break into the Batmobile to steal shit out of it. And then Batman finds him and decides to take him under his wing as the new Robin.
What happened to Dick Grayson at this point?
At that point, he had just left. He went on his own.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. He might not have even been Nightwing at that point. I think he was still Robin. He was just going out with, like, the Titans. Well, maybe he was Nightwing. Whatever. Who gives a shit? So my theory is that Arthur Fleck fucked up Jason Todd real bad. And then at some point, something else happened to him which caused him to totally psychotically break and become the Joker. And that the movie is Arthur Fleck in the psych ward, maybe even exposed to the Joker toxin, trying to make sense of what he did by putting himself in the position that he put that kid in. And like, understanding through that what he did to this fucking poor child and how he created this monster. I had a lot more stuff. At some point, I had written down more stuff about it, but it's sort of been a little while. But, like, because in the movie, we hear it, that Arthur Fleck discovers that his mother dated a man who abused him, and that's where all his shit comes from. I believe that Arthur Fleck in the movie we see is the stepfather. The whole movie is his delusion. He's in the psych ward, and he's trying to understand what he's done by putting himself in the position of Jason Todd, his stepson, quote unquote, who is Penny's son in this scenario.
I'd be interested to see what comes of that with the sequel.
Yeah, like, and I don't, it's a way out there fucking interpretation. That's more me.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's me, like, trying to bend the movie to the absolute maximum of what you can do with it. But I think it's whatever. It's a movie. It's what I think of it.
Yeah,
it's a good movie.
Thank you.
Joker was a great movie.
It was.
The part where he kills De Niro Like, holy shit, that took.
Yeah. You know what was worse than that is the guy who sold him the gun and tried to set him up. When him and the midget come to his apartment to give him alcohol after his mom dies. Yeah, I love how he lets him in and they're just like, you know, we wanted to bring you this because he thought you might be going through a rough time, and he's just like, no, I love it. I'm happy.
The part where the midget goes to the fucking door, but
He can't reach it. Joker tries to let him out, and he's just like, oh wait, hold on, and he gives him a kiss on the head and sends him out.
Alright, well, since we're at the end of this, I said I would end the show this way.
Yeah.
I'm going to read in its entirety the Rugrats debacle.
You should probably
So you have to read it from
Dude.
your first post.
I will.
The one I sent you.
I know, I will.
Yeah, sure.
Well,
you should probably do it in main chat.
I think I was thinking to even do it alone and let it go, but maybe it would be funnier to get everyone's view of it.
No, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna let you do it.
Alright, we'll just do it here then. Fuck it.
Alright.
Send in the clown.
Alright. Hold on. Do you remember in Rugrats how Chucky had an Asian stepsister?
Yeah.
He
Why?
totally jacked off to her.
What? Are you really?
And you know she was getting it into high school too.
How do you how would you figure? Because they're not related, or what?
Here's what I think. I think one time she brought a dude home and Chucky listened to that dude finger banger. I think she had a boyfriend she was attracted to, but she knew how Chucky felt and was sad that he tried to kill himself if he found out she had slept with someone else. Chucky's like Dean Venture with a less successful father. His stepsister was his Trina.
Oh my god.
Except he didn't have a father who ran out of fucks to give, so he never learned how to rebel. The greatest irony of all time is that Chucky's dad was named Chad.
Chaz, actually.
Chaz. I think someone brought that up later.
Also, I think that was just a nickname. I think his name was his real name is just Charles.
And then Aquanaz points out that he had 2 wives and one was a hot Asian, but I put forward she was only into him for the green card.
Yeah.
You know, on her wedding night, she gave him a hand job and that was it.
Do you think that it ended in divorce once they were out of the house, and it went further than that?
Oh,
Or
I'll
was it
I'll
a
get-
type of thing where Kimmy was trapped?
Oh, I'll get to it.
Jillian, before you continue, can you send me a link to those is it me or is it getting crazy out there green
I can't.
It's all like video game shit.
I can't. I don't have them.
Oh, dude, those were so good.
Yeah. One time Chaz was having a really good day, and he went to go kiss his wife, and she looked away in disgust. He thought about killing himself that night.
Oh god.
One time Kimmy came to Charles to complain about Chucky's behavior, and he got really upset and told Kimmy she has a sisterly duty to her brother. One time his wife drank too much and Chaz finger blasted her when she was sleeping. He was so happy until she called out Drew's name.
Whoa.
Chucky watches Lolicon slice of life anime.
Oh, god.
Chucky makes Kimmy watch it with him sometimes.
Oh no.
He sits too close. Sometimes when she's not around, Chucky hides under her bed and pretends what it would be like to sleep there. One time Charles overheard... Oh, it's my dog. Hold on. Planny, you can't be here for this. This is too much for you. Come on,
You
girl.
paid for this, Sensei. It's you.
I paid for it too.
It did.
Great. I love it.
I'm blaming
Come on, play
Sensei.
chat.
though.
I've done nothing but simply help out one of my favorite YouTube creators. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Have you been
Yes, I'm
Have you been
Yeah,
donating to
I-
Jacksepticeye
Very
too?
much appreciated, Sensei.
No, I think I thought you just talked about Markiplier.
Who's that?
I don't know.
It's your favorite
I'm
YouTuber.
gonna tag out of the stream really quick.
Really though, what's Markiplier?
When Kimmy brought home her boyfriend from college, Chaz forced Chucky to go out with him to find him a hooker so he wouldn't be a virgin at 30 like he was.
Wait, are you still streaming?
Yes.
Yeah.
They
I
found.
don't see.
That's why he's reading the thing.
Okay.
Hold on. Please don't interrupt. This one's important. When Kimmy brought home her boyfriend from college. Jesus. When Kimmy brought home her boyfriend from college, Chaz forced Chucky to go out with him to find him a hooker so he wouldn't be a virgin at 30 like he was. They found an Asian one. Chucky couldn't get it up, so Chaz fucked her instead. He filmed it. He showed it to his wife, hoping it would upset her, but all she did was turn away and scoff. Lil got married before Phil, and before their wedding, Phil made Chucky drive him and her out to the woods so he could confront her about it. They ended up fucking in front of him, and Chucky pretended it was Kimmy and her boyfriend and masturbated to it. At this point, Aquanaz left the Discord.
Oh no. You know it's bad when
my-
Aquanauts has to leave a situation like that. I'm just gonna point that out to everybody now.
Oh my god.
If Aquanaz leaves a chat, that's pretty severe, heinous shit.
I'd fucking leave after this too.
One time, Chucky paid Kimmy's boyfriend to watch them have sex from the closet. The boyfriend agreed, and they kept it a secret from Kimmy. She didn't want to do anything, but he made her. That's when Chucky learned that she didn't fight back.
Oh my god.
I think the problem is here that everyone in the Discord was like, "What the fuck are you doing? What you talking about?"
At Christmas one year, her boyfriend slapped her and left the house in a rush. No one did anything. Not Chaz, not her mother. That night, Chucky crept into her room to console her and tried to cuddle with her, but she asked him to leave. That's when he remembered she didn't fight back.
Oh no.
The next day, when the boyfriend came home, Chucky and Kimmy were gone. Chucky made her go with him. When confronted, her mother just marveled at how Chucky was more of a man than Chaz, and took what was his. Chaz hit her in the face with a meat tenderizer. Chucky took Kimmy to a motel by the ocean out of town. He thought it'd be romantic. She never fought back. A lifetime of Chaz and Chucky as the only male influences in her life made her weak and malleable. She counted while Chucky was on top of her.
Whoa.
Her boyfriend called the cops and reported her missing, but when they found her, she told them everything was okay. She was lying. Chucky used her, but he couldn't hurt her. Chaz killed himself after killing his wife. The house went to Chucky. Kimmy dropped out of school and lived with him. She had to. She works a graveyard shift at a grocery store while Chucky plays house husband
Oh my god.
until night comes and he remembers that
She
Kimmy
doesn't fight back.
doesn't fight back.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
She found out she was pregnant once. She fell down the stairs. She wouldn't bring something pure into this. Chucky didn't wait for her to recover, to remember.
Wait, what?
That was their lives. Chucky ended up killing himself in his late 30s. No one knows why.
What are we talking about?
There were too many reasons to choose from.
We're talking about you.
Kimmy still lives here, still works at the grocery store. And at night, she still doesn't fight back.
I'm scared.
Only this time,
No.
it's her memories that rape her.
Oh.
Tommy actually did okay. He became a cult director and
Shut up, Joe.
and-
What the fuck's wrong with you?
he became a cult director, and Dill helps him as a special effects artist. He's directing the Reptar reboot right now.
Is this part of that dumb podcast that you're doing at the moment?
Yeah, it is, Chuck. Thanks for coming in and talking over what was clearly supposed to be dramatic, you bitch.
Oh, I'll go to the waiting room.
You should have been in the waiting room to begin with.
I didn't understand what was going on. I'll be here later, I guess.
The last thing I wrote here was, don't ever forget how powerful I am.
Was there? So, if we're thinking about like if like, so you're saying that Susie Carmichael was like super into Black Lives Matter in college, but then winds up marrying a white dude, right?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It is a very, very powerful story, but I don't know. I kind of wanted to kill myself multiple times during that.
Yeah, I know. So did Kimmy.
You know what's sad?
Yeah.
It's because shit like that has actually happened. That's the fucked up thing.
No, it's happening right now. This kind of shit is happening. It's not something that has happened.
Only this time.
They're
Is it?
related.
Only this time it's not Chucky that's doing the rape. It's Dylan's memories on us.
Jesus Christ.
Man, I'm funny.
Yeah,
I don't know if he ends up
big
better
funny
off
guy.
Girl from friggin' Emergence.
I just can't. I don't know. Like, I feel like
Fucking-
that if you
fucking
were
Emergence.
to, oh god, like if you got really in depth into something like that, God fucking help anybody's soul that would do something like that. But what is it? What is it that they call Eraserhead? They call it. It's like where.
It's trash.
Yeah, Eraserhead, Elephant Man, like those last scenes in those movies are kind of heart-wrenching.
It
And,
makes you feel shit.
Yeah.
Seb sent me 50 secs, and at first I was like, oh, geez, I wonder how much that is. It's $5. Fuck you, Seb.
Well, it's sweet
I
money.
guess I'm not gonna send you any more money then.
You might as well not. You might as well send me fucking Kinder eggs.
Yeah,
I'd get more
Yeah,
use
I
out of
feel
them.
like that would
I mean, I was
definitely be.
I was going to send you like $50, but then Sensei sent
You
you 60.
you
so-
did send me $50. You sent it $50 in worthless money.
Yeah, but yeah, but Sensei sent you money, so I don't have to anymore. She took the cost.
I just sent him what I wanted to send him. Actually, I sent him $80.
That's right. She gave me
But-
20 later.
Yes, and that's way too much.
Well,
It's too late now.
Yeah, whatever. You do what you want. Like I held him down for like 2 weeks for $20 for her fucking Nekopara stream.
that was pretty entertaining.
We should
Yes,
do the
and you
Nekopara
sent him
stream again.
four times that time out for no reason.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
All right, I'm gonna end the pod. I'm gonna end the stream. It's over, and then I'm just gonna go to the other
Wait.
chat.
I want to say something
Sure.
Okay.
before you end the stream. Blake, if you're watching this, I'm coming for you, nigga.
Oh,
Oh
no,
man,
he's gonna die.
That's
it's calling
SummerSlam.
you out, Blake.
Show's over.